Tutorial 3. Cutting the cups. Required materials. Let me say a few words about the required materials before I start preparing fabric for cutting. These are basically all materials that I use for sewing a corset. For sewing my dress, I need iron-on batiste for fusing the face and the lining, hard iron-on fabric for fusing the cups, Ridgeline bones, both wide 0.5 inches and narrow 0.3 inches. It's enough to just use narrow bones for this very design. Main fabric. I have chosen Rotterdam stretch satin as the main fabric. This dress can be made either with or without an additional lining. Additional lining is desirable if you use a thin material as the main fabric. However, if the main fabric is dense enough and there is also an overlay of decorative fabric atop, in my case it is a lace overlay embroidered with glass beads and sequins, then you don't really need a lining. Ribbons for the lacing, narrow ribbon for hanging loops, zipper, thread, needles, pins, scissors, pruner for cutting bones. Fabric consumption. Fabric consumption is very low if you cut your garment crosswise. In my case, I need 1 millimeter of main fabric and 1 meter of lace. Cutting the cups. I start cutting the dress from the cups. I have prepared 2 pieces of fabric for the face side and the lining. I used the same stretch satin fabric as for the lining. Both pieces have been fused with thin iron-on batiste. I start laying out pieces. I lay out the cup pieces crosswise, that is along the shoot, but I have decided to arrange the back pieces along the grain of fabric to save up some material. I remove 0.4 inches along the center of the front because according to the calculations I need to go 0.8 inches inwards in order to reduce the standard pattern along the middle of the bust. I outline the pattern as is, for now remembering to mark notches. I will alter the patterns later, and for now I just outline all pieces as they are. I have cut the back piece crosswise against the front piece of the cups. I am fully aware that laying out fabric in different directions may result in having different kinds of shades or shimmer. But I also know that there will be an applique going along the top of the cups, and that's why I've taken this decision to spare some fabric. I start altering the standard pattern. I take the final table with all calculations. I start from the clip measurement. I step 1.6 inches atop from the curve, 0.5 inches from the neckline, and 0.7 inches on the side piece of the front. I look for the location of the bust line to find out how much the neckline should be lowered. I would like the depth of the triangle in its actual size to match the bust line precisely. That's why I step upwards from the bust line by a distance of the seam allowance and mark the end point of the neckline cut. However, upon looking at the shape of the neckline, I can tell that removing 1.6 inches along the curve would be too much. The neckline cut won't look good and the cut pieces won't match properly. I have most probably recommended the client to have the neckline cut lowered significantly when taking off her measurements, or maybe she just wanted a very low neckline cut. But I can see that it won't look good. The shape of the cup will be deformed. And that is why I have decided to remove 0.8 inches along the top instead of 1.6 inches. This way, the beautiful proportional shape of the top will be preserved. I move on to the side piece of the cup. As I have decided I need to remove 0.7 inches from the sky and 0.8 inches from the top. I remove 0.2 inches along the side seam and 0.4 inches under the bust. I draw a new top line using the pattern. You can see how pretty and well-proportioned the new top line is. You shouldn't forget to remove 0.4 inches along the length atop the side. Altering the back. I remove 1 inch along the bust line, 1.2 inches under the bust, and 0.4 inches along the side lengths. I pinned the pattern pieces together. I place some folded hard iron-on fabric underneath the front cup pieces that have been pinned together. I match the creases of the iron-on fabric and the pattern fabric and pin them together again. The cup pieces are ready for cutting. I cut the cups very carefully along the marked lines. It is necessary to make notches. I don't put any hard iron-on material underneath the back pieces. Once I've cut out all pieces, I check them, comparing the cut out pieces with the pattern. Apart from that, I always check how well these cut out pieces match.